Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video we're doing some more ZR shit. It's just so much shit that I need to do. I've got that whole fucking list. I've kind of cleared up, but not really, because I can't be arsed. What I want to do today is put the radiator in. I need to change this coolant elbow too, but I did buy a ZR one, don't know where the fuck it's gone. I've also got a new steering wheel on the way, so that's going to make an interesting video when an airbag blows up in my face. Turbo needs to come off instead of just taking the turbo off there because it's a pain in the fucking arse. I'm going to take the turbo manifold off. I'm going to attempt to trim the oil feed just a little bit because you can't really see, but down here it's got a slight kink in it, so I want to try and remove as much of that as possible. The downpipe I have not finished, but you know, it's there. Divorced ports, did that by just welding another bit of pipe. Got some more pipe there. Oh, now we've gone into wide angle. Nice one. It's not what you want to see. Yeah, so the pipe over there is for the screamer pipe. Down pipe is partially done now. It does fit. A little bit of adjusting. I want to need to hit the subframe a little bit because my measurements weren't great because I'm a fucking mong. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, coolant elbow that needs changing, but I'll do that at some point. The turbo needs to come off because it's just massive. It's fucking huge for a little engine, so I need to take it off to put the radiator in. The intercooler is now mounted, made some actual mounts. I'm going to weld them on because I've drilled straight through and didn't realise how shit the metal was. Should have fucking realised because it's a Rover. Shit steel, so I need to fucking clean it up and then I'm going to need to weld them brackets on instead of bolting them because it just keeps shearing the metal. So apparently some shit that shit can't be me. Doesn't know how to keep shit safe, and I've lost fucking 2 tripods in the space of about a month. So I'm just going to show you what I have to do, and if I can find somewhere to put the camera, I'll do it on camera. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, fucking 5 bolts, I think, and then the whole turbo thing comes off. Also, let's take this shit con off, and yeah, so if I can find a way to balance the camera, I'll just do it that way. But got 5 to take off. This one's fucked. The thread on it's fucked, so I need to re-tap it. So like I said, I'm not taking the actual turbo off, I'm taking the manifold and the turbo off. So everything's apart, the feed is off, the drain, which is somewhere under there. You can see the kink more now, obviously it's pushed back, but it's not dramatically affecting it when it's stretched out over here, just like it a little bit more. This stud was fucked, so I had to take that out. Other than that, the turbo is actually ready to come off. I put all the bolts to one side, alternator needs to come off, then I can fucking do the and now I'm in wide angle, fuck off. Right, alternator needs to come off. To do the gasket for the oil filter housing thing, then I can adjust that while it's off. After that, I can put the fucking radiator in. After I put the fucking radiator in, I can put the turbo in. But guess what I fucking broke? You know the gasket that goes on the back of there, it fucking ripped in half. Which is fucking mint, because I can't put my fucking feedback on my turbo. Which means it can't fucking run for like another week until I can get one. You know what that means? Fuck all, because to be fair, it doesn't really, well, it runs. That's the wiring for the fuel pump temporarily. It runs, but it's not stable enough to run on its own because of cooling and shit like that. So when I run it, it runs for a few seconds. Obviously I've got no alternator belt on, I've got no fucking power steering belt on. I have fuck all on. Literally right now I don't even have a fucking turbo on. But yeah, that shit can basically stay where it is for like the next week. I might end up putting it back on anyway, just for the time being. And I want to try and make a bracket between these two. I did cut off the piece for this, and then I'm just going to basically weld a bracket from here to there, what holds it in place. I don't want to cut my gearbox. I need to put the gearbox, I need to put the flywheel covers back on too, which are somewhere in that pile of shit. So, as it turns out, I've lost my fucking top radiator mounts. They'll be somewhere, and I swore, like, about a year ago when I started this fucking thing, I said, I was like, oh yeah, I'll restore the radiator mounts. Still haven't fucking done it. Can't be bothered. It's too much effort. How to install El Radiator. Grab El Radiator. Yes, I'm now fucking Spanish or some shit. Put El Radiator in holes. We're in holes. Done. That was the whole purpose of this video, by the way. Installing a radiator. I had to take all this off. Well, technically didn't have to do that. But to install a fucking radiator, which probably is going to leak purposely to piss me off. Need to modify the feed, drain that. I'm using that oil filter until I can be asked to get a shorter one, because I want to need a short one to run a sandwich plate to run an oil cooler. Spoiler alert, I'm going to run an oil cooler. Spoiler alert part 2, this fucking behemoth is going, and the oil cooler's going to go there. So, because I just fucking deleted the wrong clip, radiator, it's in. I'm pretty sure I got up to that point. But in the future, when I have a TIG welder, I am going to make my own radiator. Also, in the future, ECU mounting point, battery to boot conversion, all that shit. Like I said, if you want to see the wiring video for the fuse box and the switches, I'll do that. As far as engine bay stuff goes, I need a fuel pressure regulator, and I've got a one-way valve fan here on the way, because apparently they run like shit without them. Alright, so I've got to go and do some idle shit now, but that cunt's back on with a fucking actual gasket instead of some sealant now. The next time you see this, next video you'll see, probably going to be the wiring thing, if I go ahead with that, but next time the downpipe will be on, the turbo will be on when I get the new O-ring. I have bought one, so I don't know if it's classed an O-ring or a gasket, but the thing for the feed. Gonna order another gasket down at the bottom because I tore that one as well. It's just good measure so it doesn't leak. New stud, and then after that, well, next video you'll see will probably be the wiring, but everything should be back together by then. Maybe even a ZR coolant elbow. Other than that, I'm not actually sure what I need to do next, what the next move for me is going to be. I know I need to do all the intercooler piping, but that's going to be one of the last things I do. I might do the battery to boot conversion soon, depending on money situation. Should be pretty easy, just fucking feeding it to the back and then piggybacking off the fuse box for the starter. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more, like, comment, subscribe down below as you always do, and I'll see you guys in the next bloody video. In the meantime, I'm going to hammer the fuck out the subframe.